Homeopathy is so subtle and so gentle in its healing when it comes to children with autism or with speech delays or any type of issues like this, that sometimes the changes are unrecognizable after 2 weeks because things are getting better so slowly and so gently without any forcefulness when it comes to the remedy or the homeopathic medicine, that it's unbelievable and you don't even notice it. That was what happened exactly with this case that I'm going to share with you guys today. We took this case May 16th, 2022, a little bit of an older child. It's never too late for healing. Just so you guys know, there is no certain age that after that certain age they can heal. Until the day we die, the body has a healing, is able to heal when it's stimulated with the proper natural therapeutic, in this case homeopathy. But we always have the ability to heal, so you never give up hope and you never give up on your children, and you keep pushing to make their lives easier and to make them so, because I hear parents tell me all the time that they don't know what's going to happen with their children after they pass away, because they want their children to be able to thrive in life and to be able to live a normal life where they could have a job, where they could have a relationship, where they could communicate, where they're able to control their bowel movements and be able to do all these things, so it's so important, and this worries a lot of parents and a lot of moms particularly. So anyways, this case was interesting. May 16th, early in the case. Today is June 1st. It shows the drastic power of homeopathic medicine properly prescribed. Whether we believe it or we don't believe it doesn't really matter. If the medicine's right, there will be changes in most cases. Whether it's diagnosed with autism or it's not autism, it's just a developmental delay. The diagnosis is totally irrelevant. So let me just go through this case with you guys. This child had a lot of health issues. He was diagnosed with a hole in his heart. He had surgery for that. He was diagnosed with some other issues, a fistula when he was younger. Surgery fixed that at 4 months old. He was having side effects or complications of one of the surgeries he had. And there was another surgery because of that. This was at 6 months old. And then there was health issues that developed after that complication because of surgery, and things changed for this child. A lot of regression, a lot of problems, pneumonias, respiratory infections, developmental delays. It was just a big nightmare for this family. I'm just going to read through here. He gets pneumonia every single year. Every year, 2 times a year, he gets it. So it's very bad. Antibiotics, steroids, and puffers. And this has been for the majority of his life. And again, he's 13 years old. So his immunity is going to get better. As we're treating him, you're going to see the changes we've seen in this last 2 weeks. And guaranteed, his immunity will be strengthened so he has a normal reaction like you or me or anybody who has a healthy immune system would react. Doesn't mean you're not going to get sick. It means you'll get sick for a period of time, and your body will heal on its own without the intervention of puffers, inhalers, steroids, or antibiotics needed. And it breaks the reoccurring cycle of this. So homeopathy has a great track record of breaking reoccurring cycles of illnesses. It could be because that's the weakness in that person. In this child, it's respiratory. So every time a little cold comes, it goes right into the chest and becomes severe. That cycle will be broken and it will not continue to develop because we've seen this so many times. And he doesn't need to stay on the medicine forever to have this effect. Homeopathy is a stimulus. Give the medicine, causes a healing response, you're able to stop the medicine and the benefits remain. So the pneumonia, he gets fevers frequently. Nose, this child had an interesting symptom, which was part of medicine selection. It's not a main complaint, but total obstruction of the nose, cannot breathe through the nose at nighttime. We think this is just sinuses, allergies, a little cold, and we kind of brush it off as being normal. It is a sign for us of a medicine that will help him in their overall case along with that symptom. And you'll see what happened on the follow-up with this. But a lot of discharge in the nose, blocked nose, especially worse at nighttime when he sleeps, can't breathe through the nose. Constipation for over 10 years, the mother told me. Every 4 to 5 days, the mother needs to give a laxative or he will not go. The stool is dry and hard, small pieces, the stool, she described it. If a laxative is not given, he will start dry retching and vomiting almost when he eats. This is when after 5, 6, 7 days of no bowel movement. So when he's eating, that's what happens. And you'll see what happened to this on the follow-up. Teeth. A lot of cavities. iron deficiency, behavior, very distracted, lack of communication. He's got some words, but lack of communication, very distracted. This child, my observation of him, and this is why video conferences or in-person consults are very important. We observe the child, we see what we see. Physical body composition leads us to a certain group of medicines that will help that child in their totality of their case, okay? This child was extremely thin, almost emaciated. The fingers and the toes were extremely bony. The arms were extremely bony. I asked about his appetite. He barely eats at all. He loves sweets, but he barely eats at all. Very picky eater. What else did she tell me? That's pretty much it. Follow up, June 1st today. You're going to see what happened. The first thing I want to tell you guys is this mother, I asked her, okay, so, I always start with my call with, how have things been? What have you noticed? Has there been any changes yet since we started this medicine? And she was kind of discouraged, and she said, no, not much has changed at all. And I go, okay, no problem. Let's figure this out. Let's see. Let me recap everything you told me, and let's just be absolutely sure that nothing changed, and then we'll kind of decide our next steps to get things going. So she told me that's how we started. She didn't perceive any changes that happened in this 2-week course, but after going through everything she told me word for word, there was drastic changes in this case, and she could see it at the end, and she was very, very happy. And to be quite frank, this is quick, fast changes. 2 weeks to have these changes, which I will explain to you. So I said, how's the nose? The nose is totally clear, she says. He hasn't had anything. No more sniffling, no more discharge from the nose, no more blockage of the nose. And he's had this for years. It's gone after 2 weeks. It happened a lot quicker. Like, she's seen results after 2-3 days of starting this medicine, and it progressively got better and better and better as he continued to take a 48-hour dose of it. I said, okay, how's the constipation? How's that been? She goes, I haven't needed to give him any laxatives the last 2 weeks, she says. He hasn't needed any laxatives, and he's been going to the bathroom every single day. So that's crazy good. His digestion has been improved. So before it was every 4 to 5 days only with laxatives. Now every day without laxatives for 2 weeks. Crazy. So huge improvement. He's not straining at stool anymore. There's no more small, dry, hard pieces of stool. What else did she tell me? It was 10 years like this, she says. So that's great, I said. She goes, yeah, I didn't even notice. No more gagging or retching when he eats, especially, obviously, because he's going to the bathroom every day, but that whole retching and gagging and vomiting when he eats and he's constipated, completely gone. I said, has this ever happened in 10 years where he's gone this long without laxatives and this long without the retching or the gagging? She says, no, it's never happened. So she was just starting to see now, after we were going through this, the changes that actually occurred in the last 2 weeks, which is drastic. He had heart surgery, had a hole in his heart. He has heart issues. He gets monitored yearly. He goes to the specialist to get this heart checked. And I never promise anything. When we take a case, I never overpromise. I'd rather underpromise and overdeliver and let the medicine do the work. And I did that in this case. I never overpromised, but in the back of my head, I knew that we would probably see improvements in the symptoms of the issues he had with the heart. He gets out of breath extremely easily. She said, just going up one little flight of stairs from the basement to the main floor, he will be huffing and puffing and need to lie down. And it's from the heart, she says, and he's had it for a long time. So I asked her, what happened with him being out of breath after a little bit of exertion or going up a flight of stairs? And she says, again, she didn't think about this, but she says, I haven't noticed it at all. It's not been there. He's been going upstairs and he hasn't needed to do it. She says, I don't know if it's from the medicine or maybe I just didn't notice it. I go, no, it's from the medicine. This was a key symptom of one of our medicines we prescribed that fit the rest of his case again. It always has to fit the totality of the case, everything. Digestion, behavior, personality, sleep, the delays, everything. And it had the heart issues in this picture of this medicine we gave him. So he has not been out of breath. Now, whether the heart has structurally changed or not, we won't know. When he goes back for checks, we'll find out. Regardless, his symptom picture is better. And he's got more energy, and he doesn't get out of breath anymore coming up a flight of stairs or after a little bit of exertion where he needs to lie down. And he's had that for years and years and years. So that is amazing. Sweating, big keynote of this medicine that indicated this medicine too. Profuse sweating at nighttime. When you guys see this, your children need homeopathy. It will help many of the health issues they're dealing with, or whether it's developmental delays, health issues, chronic illness, constipation, whatever they're dealing with, convulsions, epilepsy, doesn't matter, night terrors. If they have profuse sweating of the head at nighttime and no one else in the house is perspiring like this, it's more about them and their body, they need a homeopathic remedy. It will totally change their lives, because this is very common in children. She described it to me where the pillow would get wet. He would soak the pillow multiple times a week, almost every day. His head would be covered, his face would be covered, just sweating. Normal room in the wintertime, it didn't matter. This is a lot better. She says, maybe she didn't, she says, I haven't been paying attention to it, she says. I said, okay, how often was it before? 4 or 5 times a week, she said. Now it's 1 or 2 times a week. She thinks, but she's not sure she's going to watch. So it's a lot better. And another huge thing, he's eating now. I said, how's his appetite? She goes, he's been wanting to eat more, Mom. Said he's eating a lot of food. And he's really happy, she said to me. He's happy all the time. It's hard to believe, she says. So she's still in shock at this point. But this child who was not eating before, he's extremely emaciated. He started, like I said, his fingers and his toes were so bony. They stood out to me as being so prominent. But his arms were really thin and everything. He's eating now. And she's so happy because she's wanted this for years. So you can see there's forceful medicine, which is not homeopathy. There's, a lot of Western medicine is forceful. It forces the body against its will to cause a reaction. But because it's forceful, it doesn't work with the body. It's a temporary effect, and you need to keep taking that medication every 24 hours. And then usually the benefits leave after you stop the medicine many times. Homeopathy is polar opposite. When you prescribe a medicine that works with the body, matches the symptom picture that patient has, and it matches the symptom picture of the medicine we already know. When you apply the medicine correctly, it's natural, there's no side effects. When I say medicine, it's plant-based, mineral-based, it's natural, there's no side effects, it's organic. The body is stimulated, it's pushed, it's just triggered into a healing response. It's very specific and scientific, and it changes. Everything changes. A totality changes. That's ideal. Doesn't happen every time, but 80% of the time, one medicine will cover the majority of the case and everything will change. So this mother was happy after she's seen all the changes that happened in only 2 weeks of homeopathic care. Now, the speech delays, still working on it, but she says he's a lot happier now all the time. He's the happiest kid in the family now, whereas before he wasn't. I said, how's this different than before? He wasn't. So the development will come, the words will come, the comprehension will come. It's only 2 weeks, but the fact that this changed, this medicine will most likely make some further drastic changes in this child's life. So this is homeopathy. We see this on a daily basis. Classically prescribed homeopathic medicine is powerful, whether we believe it or we don't believe it, whether we want our children to change or we don't want them to change. This is what is possible. They can be, we can help with the symptoms of autism and developmental delays permanently. And that's what every parent wants. So if you have any questions, you can find a local classical homeopath near you guys that specializes in autism and developmental delays. You could call us. I can answer any questions you have. We do treat all over the world through Skype, okay? Any questions you guys have, just give me a ring. 289-337-4223. Newleafhomeopathy.com. I wish you guys all the best, and God bless you guys.